appreciate the incredible coverage theCUBE provides, not just for this show, but for decades. You guys have been with us and helping to educate and inform our customers in the community and really bringing out the great stories.
It's great to be with you guys. This is a tradition. We've done this a lot of years together.
Thank you for covering Discover for so many years.
The CUBE Collective is a community of dynamic, independent thought leaders, industry experts, and professionals from across the enterprise technology landscape. The CUBE has assembled a diverse group of executives, entrepreneurs, and innovators who collaborate to explore, amplify, and discuss emerging trends, innovations, and challenges shaping the future of technology. The goal of the CUBE Collective is to foster knowledge sharing, spark meaningful conversations, and provide actionable insights based on decades of collective experience and data. Together, these experts analyze the most impactful developments at the cutting edge of the tech industry. Join the CUBE Collective as they analyze the shifts transforming and shaping the future of technology. theCUBE, the leading source for technology news and analysis, with exclusive access to the hottest technology events from around the globe. In-depth interviews with industry giants and innovative startups disrupting the landscape. Tune in live or catch the action on demand at thecube.net for current real-time conversations. theCUBE, extracting the signal from the noise. theCUBE brings you the latest news and trends from the heart of the Silicon Valley. Our experts provide in-depth analysis, interviews with industry leaders, and breaking enterprise technology news. Don't just listen. Join the conversation. Be part of the community. theCUBE, extracting the signal from the noise.
theCUBE is one of the most valuable resources in the industry, and I don't say that just from the vendor side. End users say they look at your stuff all the time, and that's what matters most. What do the end users do, and what do the channel partners do who take care of those end users? And they both comment to me multiple times on the value theCUBE delivers to them to really understanding technology, not just in storage, but in all the other areas, because you guys cover the entire gamut.
But this is really about helping people sort of understand, educate them, and inspire them to take action.
Yeah. Takes a village. It's not me. It's a village, and thank you guys for starting to cover it so early.
It's always a pleasure to be here, and hey, congratulations to you, theCUBE, the whole business you put together. It's pretty freaking amazing, man.
theCUBE brings you the latest news and trends from the heart of the Silicon Valley. Our experts provide in-depth analysis, interviews with industry leaders, and breaking enterprise technology news. Don't just listen. Join the conversation. Be part of the community. theCUBE, extracting the signal from the noise.
Welcome back to Appian World 26. We are streaming live here in Orlando. I'm Allison Casic alongside Dave Volante. And it's been a great conference, right? We're on day 3.
Yeah, day 3, we're deep into the Appian Kool-Aid injection, and it's really making sense. I like their messaging and the whole notion of taking agents to governed action. That's hard, and enterprises need that, as do governments.
Yeah, and there's growing pressure on federal agencies to show progress with AI, an issue we're going to dig into right now with Jason Adolf. He's the Vice President of Global Public Sector with Appian. Welcome to theCUBE.
Thank you so much for having me.
So let's talk about this. Federal agencies are under pressure to show AI progress, but you've talked about this readiness gap. What does that gap look like inside government today?
You know, I think the level of hype versus reality in government is reached a level that is not necessarily sustainable for the agencies themselves. And so what you had was significant mandates to, let's say, do AI, right? And so what did everybody interpreted that was, I'm going to declare victory by building a chatbot, right? That was the least destructive thing that they could do. And so everybody went out and built a chatbot. But I think as you all have seen at the conference this couple of days, that's not really where the actual value would be delivered for our mission customers. They want to do things that are more deterministic. And I honestly, I don't think yet that the policies are in place at most federal agencies to be able to govern things like agents. I think you hear a lot of talk about it, but I'm not sure that the policies are there for it. And I also don't think that if you look at our customer base being very mission heavy, our customers are the operators of the system. They're the owners of the case management solution or the logistics solution. Their burden for what they're willing to accept from AI is very different than if I was an IT person accepting AI into my organization. And so I don't think you've crossed that gulf yet where the operators, the researchers, the bank examiners, the grant administrators, the contract administrators that use our tools are quite ready to get replaced in some ways by those tools.
What's it going to take to get there?
I think it's all about trust and confidence. And so, my talk track when I travel has been all about certainty and transparency in AI. And I think what we're seeing more of is the burden for the vendor, okay, when we go into these engagements and have to explain what AI is going to do for them, we have to show it. We have to show it in a way that says, you were going to perform these actions, and now I'm going to have an agent do it, and the agent was going to do it the way you were going to do it, but I'm also going to show you the output, I'm going to allow you to audit it, and give you some confidence that it is doing things the way that you would have done it had you designed this agent yourself. That's really where I think the biggest gap is.
I think you framed it very well. In the early days of generative AI, people plugged an LLM into a vectorized database, and they said, oh, see, we built a RAG-based chatbot, and at the same time, you had this other end of the spectrum with these frontier model companies talking about AGI and living forever, and so that freaked a lot of people out, and so governments tried to say, well, we have to control this. What they missed, and they started to try to implement policy, and what they missed is there was all these steps in between, like reasoning and agentic, and now we're deep into that, and I think you're right on. It's like, wow, we don't really know what to do with this stuff, we don't trust this stuff, and that seems to be the challenge that you guys are going after. So as we step back a little bit, you and I were talking off camera about governments globally trying to take control of their own sort of AI stack. Enterprises are building their own AI stacks. They're not just relying on the cloud. Cloud's a key piece of it. As are, organizations and governments around the world, and state and local governments. So everybody wants to control their AI future. So So what's your role in helping them understand and come up with some kind of consistent policy? It's like herding the cats.
Yeah, I mean, as we were talking about a little bit before, the sovereignty conversation has come up everywhere. And so I do a good deal of travel with Appian, present on topics like this, particularly around risk in governance in AI. And more what you are seeing is nations are attempting to in-source their models. So a few years back when we had ChatGPT and that was like a one-hit wonder, everybody would just use that. Now I think people are realizing both the data sovereignty aspect of AI, but also the economic impact of AI. So a lot of countries don't want to funnel all of their AI tools into US-based companies anymore. And so we're seeing, particularly in France, we get a lot around, they have a model called Mistral. And so we have a big, we won a contract with an organization there in government, and they prefer to use that. And so we've adapted to that by saying, originally all of our services were based on Claude. And so we've now re-architected that so that when you're in the low-code platform, you're actually using our services, but what's underneath that can now be something other than Claude. And I think, at all of those different levels of government, that's what they're asking for, because today Claude is the best at certain things, but as you all have seen, that pace could be tomorrow, it could be something different, or to solve a specific problem, it could be something entirely different in 6 months.
Well, to that point, Meta just released a new model this morning ahead of its earnings because it's been spending so much money. It had to show, some progress. It's trying to catch up. You mentioned Mistral. There's companies like Cohere, which are doing some amazing work. And then there's the leading frontier models. You got Elon buying Cursor. So things change so quickly, it's very, very hard to predict. So you as the software vendor have to provide optionality and not just access, like a Hugging Face library. You've got to actually do some integration with those models, don't you?
Yeah, and I will tell you, so if you look at our portfolio of customers, we tend to be very mission heavy. And so, if you look at the space that we play in a space where a lot of our competitors came from building COTS applications and then have now become low-code vendors, right? And our thing has always been to be the most flexible. That's been a key tenet of ours, which was we want to land in an infrastructure and allow our customers to use the things they like, to take advantage of the data sources that they have. And so what we have done a very good job of is bringing all that information in, allowing our customers to build very complex systems on top of it, but then still allowing that flexibility and choice, because we know that tomorrow, for those key missions in an agency, somebody could come through and decide to make a significant change to what their constraints are.
How, I ask this in a weird way, but how biased are you toward the American tech stack? I mean, obviously, you're a US-based company. You've got Jensen running around saying the world should be on, CUDA. I know it's self-serving, but the American tech stack, let's broaden it beyond CUDA. And, that's a good thing, obviously, for the country. At the same time, you've got China in particular doing all these really amazing, wonderful open weight models. Yep. You've got other competitors, tipping. I mean, look what OpenAI did with open source is like, okay, we're going to deprecate a model and put it out in open source. Enterprises want that open model. So there's some really interesting dynamics here. How do you play that? I mean, do you try to help you put your thumb on the scale for US-based companies? You have to be kind of agnostic and a trusted vendor, right?
So, my personal view, and frankly, where Appian has gone with this. So, if you think about a lot of our customers, they are operating we have some customers operate in self-managed environments, we have customers operating in very high security environments. And so our position has been, and one of the key advantages that we have is, we've spent a lot of engineering effort on creating parity between our cloud offering, our standard AWS tech stack, and a Kubernetes-based architecture, okay? So where does that benefit us is, in any country, if you choose not to use the US-based tech stack, we've built a standard Kubernetes-based architecture that you could also run right next to whatever AI solutions that you have in country. You can run it on whatever hardware you want to run it on, and we don't really care. We'll support it regardless. And I think what you've seen is, if I were to look across the portfolio of our government customers, we're very heavy in defense, we're very heavy in intelligence, law enforcement. These are areas where they need and desire that flexibility. And I think, to be honest, that's been one of our biggest advantages. Because we are a Washington-based company, and I know you were talking about East Coast AI, but being a Washington company helps because if you look around the conference and all the speakers, all of these people have done government work. I mean, our founders started by doing work for the Army, right? And so when we take requirements to them for government, they don't look at us like we're speaking Klingon, right? Like they think about it and they say, okay, well, that makes logical sense that the government would need to do the things you're describing. So I don't look at it as a disadvantage. I look at it like we've created an advantage for ourselves by being able to give people that choice.
So there are some obvious front runners. I don't want to call them winners yet, but clearly OpenAI and Anthropic are doing amazing work. I strongly believe that xAI is going to be a major competitor, particularly potentially at the edge, and you never count Zuckerberg out. So there's some obvious front runners. How do you think about those that are, like you mentioned Mistral, France has an amazing technology community. Yeah. China, we talked about, has an amazing technology community. How much integration do you have to do, or do you just basically, as Appian's sort of posture, hey, we're open, the entries and exits, entries into and exits from our system are open, so anybody can play. Is it the latter, or do you have to do tighter integration with those models?
No, it's the latter, but that's by design, right? And so I can tell you, last week we were in a all-day demonstration with a military customer that wants to be able to take and do edge-based computing. They want to shrink it down, want to run it on a device, want to run it in a vehicle, and why force them into a tech stack? A lot of our customers are operating in environments where they don't have that much choice. They've authorized a model to operate in a top secret environment, and so they've gone through a lot of work to get these tools to operate in these very austere environments. And so we said, all right, we're going to be compatible with the things you've done to operate in those austere environments. And that could be in the US, it could be in France, it could be in Australia and New Zealand. And so I think, again, that is our going in posture with this set of customers, is that, frankly, we don't care.
Edge is an interesting example. I would posit that it's highly likely that the CUDA US stack is going to be the dominant cloud and enterprise and neo cloud stack for training and kind of enterprise inference. I think Edge is a completely different animal. I mean, it's very diffuse and dispersed.
It is, but it isn't as much as you think. And so what's been interesting to us in our R&D with edge devices, okay? So we've got a whole toy store stuff back at headquarters. We brought in a lot of military spec devices. We've actually installed Appian on a purpose-built device that runs Jetson Nano, so the NVIDIA's OS. What we're finding though is that the burden on those devices to run an LLM or to run these services is not that high, because the AI that's required to operate at the edge isn't the corpus of all information that's ever hit the internet, right? It's typically, I need interaction with a language model that can be shrunk down to the point where it operates on one of these devices, is very performant, that edge device is supporting 100, 200 clients out in the field. And so I think what we've seen is, and we don't test with things like DeepSeek, but we've seen even the lighter weight versions of a Gemini model and a Claude model or OpenAI model perform extraordinarily well for the use cases that are needed in that environment.
Interesting. I want to play that forward and test that, and stress test that a little bit. So we were at Mobile World Congress this year, and we put forth a piece of research that John Furrier put out that I picked up on. And the whole concept was the hyper-converged edge, taking compute, storage, networking, and wireless, putting it in cell towers, and basically having like an AI factory in the cell tower. Clearly, that's powerful. Appian could run on that. Do you think that scenario that you laid out, with kind of the small, efficient language models, kind of perpetuates, is perpetual or permanent, or do you think that ultimately the edge is going to have so much like compute power that it's unimaginable the types of things that we can do there?
So, for our military customers, the next kind of holy grail of this will be, I don't need a server-side device. I could take the Appian application and run it. We have an application that runs on a mobile device, right? An app store level device. Today, there's no way to take what we would design in AI and run it on a iPhone 17 Pro, right? I think what you will see, I think logically any of us could look at it and say, eventually there will be enough compute power on that device that it ships with a model. And so, can we then take, we're doing work now with some governments around TAC, so that's Tactical Awareness Kit, right? So the military goes out with an Android device, and so then the question is, I've now shrunk the footprint of an Appian implementation down to, I'm going to take this out to a field depot in Afghanistan, then can I shrink it down further to run the entire thing on a Android mobile device, right? And so that's the kind of stuff that we're testing now. And what I would tell you is, if I look at our competitors in government, the game isn't anymore, can you build an AI coding agent? Can you do agents? We have some philosophical differences in our approach to that. The game now is, where can I run it? Can I run it in a secure environment? Can I run it on a ship? Can I run it, run it in the field? Because what's driving that is, I used to have to build it custom. And I don't want to build it custom, I want to build it COTS. But I want my COTS thing to act as if it was custom. And that's where, if you really get into our engineering effort, that's what we're doing.
That's so well said, Jason. I mean, I remember the days when the government had a massive push for commercial off-the-shelf software that was a mandate, and then of course, they had to customize on top of that, where sort of the pendulum is swinging back in a very strong way. But what I'm understanding is your architecture lends itself to a highly distributed environment, the Kubernetes piece that you talked about, so you can run anywhere, give customers optionality. And then the other piece that we're learning here at this conference is, your game is taking governed action. And that's a really hard thing to do, that East Coast AI.
Yeah, and look, the other part of that used to be, when I first started Appian, we used to say we are a West Coast culture with East Coast business sensibility. So that was a way to describe what you would see if you came to our office. But look, there's a whole thought around transparency, and so if I look at the adjectives that people care about, or the concepts people care about, transparency, security, we invested heavily in what we call Appian Defense Cloud, which is our IL5 managed service that we've rolled out to a number of our defense customers. We have hardened Appian to be able to run in top secret environments and above. And on the transparency side, what maybe is not as obvious to a layperson that's looking at the things that we've been demoing is, our heritage is business process management. By default, we were always a very good auditing product. So auditing down to a level of, down to the nanosecond, everything that was happening. And so what we've done that was smart was applied that to what the AI is doing. So if you think about what our customers are doing, and I'd say it's a little tongue in cheek, it's one level of risk to say, well, my AI didn't generate the right credit card offer for you. It's another thing to say, well, my AI didn't approve the benefit that you needed for disability claims that now you're going to take a year to get appeal. And so our customers can't just accept the answer that is given. Our customers need to know how the answer was created. And so again, philosophically, that transparency in how we're doing it, what the agent's doing, what the model is bringing back to you, I think is equally as important as how fast it works, what it costs.
And coming back to where we started with sovereign AI, that is fundamental and critical for governments and organizations globally, because they need to know what happened, when, where. They have to, explainable AI is kind of the buzzword, but but you're delivering that, so.
Right, and so, the other thing that more recently became a talking point for us was, if you think about it, I think everybody would tell you, I can give 2 agents the same problem, they'll come up with 2 different ways to solve the problem. Yeah. But we also have to deal with bias. And so if you think about it in the context of demographics, so if we do a lot of grants work, we do a lot of claims work, would two claims with similar demographics be executed the same way by 2 different agents? Because if I get denied and you get accepted, well, how does an agency say that we were fair? And so these are the kind of things that I think we're trying to tackle now, is to be able to understand that level of, how it's working.
Great conversation. Really appreciate your time.
Enjoyed talking with you. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
And you've been watching theCUBE, the leader in live technology coverage and enterprise tech analysis, and we'll be right back.
The CUBE Collective is a community of dynamic, independent thought leaders, industry experts, and professionals from across the enterprise technology landscape. The CUBE has assembled a diverse group of executives, entrepreneurs, and innovators who collaborate to explore, amplify, and discuss emerging trends, innovations, and challenges shaping the future of technology. The goal of the CUBE Collective is to foster knowledge sharing, spark meaningful conversations, and provide actionable insights based on decades of collective experience and data. Together, these experts analyze the most impactful developments at the cutting edge of the tech industry. Join the CUBE Collective as they analyze the shifts transforming and shaping the future of technology. theCUBE, the leading source for technology news and analysis, with exclusive access to the hottest technology events from around the globe. In-depth interviews with industry giants and innovative startups disrupting the landscape. Tune in live or catch the action on demand at thecube.net for current real-time conversations. theCUBE, extracting the signal from the noise. theCUBE brings you the latest news and trends from the heart of the Silicon Valley. Our experts provide in-depth analysis, interviews with industry leaders, and breaking enterprise technology news. Don't just listen. Join the conversation. Be part of the community. theCUBE, extracting the signal from the noise.
theCUBE is one of the most valuable resources in the industry, and I don't say that just from the vendor side. End users say they look at your stuff all the time, and that's what matters most. What do the end users do, and what do the channel partners do who take care of those end users? And they both comment to me multiple times on the value theCUBE delivers to them to really understanding technology, not just in storage, but in all the other areas, because you guys cover the entire gamut.
But this is really about helping people sort of understand, educate them, and inspire them to take action.
Yeah. Takes a village. It's not me. It's a village, and thank you guys for starting to cover it so early.
It's always a pleasure to be here, and hey, congratulations to you, theCUBE, the whole business you put together. It's pretty freaking amazing, man.
theCUBE brings you the latest news and trends from the heart of the Silicon Valley. Our experts provide in-depth analysis, interviews with industry leaders, and breaking enterprise technology news. Don't just listen. Join the conversation. Be part of the community. theCUBE, extracting the signal from the noise. From the biggest stories to the most complex analysis, theCUBE has got you covered. With well over a decade in the fast-paced world of enterprise technology, theCUBE is the only destination that caters to business leaders and tech enthusiasts alike. Join hosts Dave Volante, John Furrier, and many others as they interview industry leaders and visionaries to get an insider's perspective on the latest trends and groundbreaking developments shaping the tech landscape. theCUBE offers comprehensive coverage on a myriad of topics, including artificial intelligence, cloud computing, cybersecurity, data analytics, and so much more. With a community of over 17,000 experts, you're bound to learn a thing or two from our extended coverage at live events or in our studios. Dive deep into thousands of interviews and even go back to past interviews to see how the industry has changed. Or hop on over to SiliconANGLE Media, where our dedicated team of writers work to bring daily articles to over 4 million unique readers each quarter. Go beyond surface-level coverage and unearth critical insights and strategies that fuel success in today's dynamic tech environment. Whether you're an executive looking to learn more about a product, a tech enthusiast hungry for knowledge, or an entrepreneur searching for inspiration, theCUBE is the premier destination for you. Don't miss out on the opportunity to be part of the conversation shaping the future of technology. Tune in to theCUBE and SiliconANGLE Media and join the thought leaders at the forefront of innovation in the world of business and technology. theCUBE, extracting the signal from the noise.
Appreciate the incredible coverage theCUBE provides, not just for this show, but for decades. You guys have been with us and helping to educate and inform our customers in the community and really bringing out the great stories.
It's great to be with you guys. This is a tradition. We've done this a lot of years together.
Thank you for covering Discover for so many years.
The CUBE Collective is a community of dynamic, independent thought leaders, industry experts, and professionals from across the enterprise technology landscape. The CUBE has assembled a diverse group of executives, entrepreneurs, and innovators who collaborate to explore, amplify, and discuss emerging trends, innovations, and challenges shaping the future of technology. The goal of the CUBE Collective is to foster knowledge sharing, spark meaningful conversations, and provide actionable insights based on decades of collective experience and data. Together, these experts analyze the most impactful developments at the cutting edge of the tech industry. Join the CUBE Collective as they analyze the shifts transforming and shaping the future of technology. theCUBE, the leading source for technology news and analysis with exclusive access to the hottest technology events from around the globe. In-depth interviews with industry giants and innovative startups disrupting the landscape. Tune in live or catch the action on demand at thecube.net for current real-time conversations. theCUBE, extracting the signal from the noise. theCUBE brings you the latest news and trends from the heart of the Silicon Valley. Our experts provide in-depth analysis, interviews with industry leaders, and breaking enterprise technology news. Don't just listen. Join the conversation. Be part of the community. theCUBE, extracting the signal from the noise.
theCUBE is one of the most valuable resources in the industry, and I don't say that just from the vendor side. End users say they look at your stuff all the time, and that's what matters most. What do the end users do, and what do the channel partners do who take care of those end users? And they both comment to me multiple times on the value theCUBE delivers to them to really understanding technology, not just in storage, but in all the other areas, because you guys cover the entire gamut.
But this is really about helping people sort of understand, educate them, and inspire them to take action.
Yeah. Takes a village. It's not me. It's a village, and thank you guys for starting to cover it so early.
It's always a pleasure to be here, and hey, congratulations to you, theCUBE, the whole business you put together. It's pretty freaking amazing, man.
Good morning, we're back in Orlando. This is theCUBE's live coverage of Appian World 2026. This is day 3 of our live coverage. Excited to have Scott van Valkenburg back. He's the Senior Vice President of Global Alliances at Appian, and he's joined by 2 guests from Deloitte. Jamie Moore is UK Policing CTO for agentic AI and orchestration, and Andy Wilmer is UK and EMEA policing lead at Deloitte. We're going to talk about cops in the UK, and we're super excited. And Scott, I'm going to ask you to to frame this. We are talking about modernization, policing, and some of the challenges that they face, but set it up for us.
Yeah, well thanks Dave, pleasure to be here. We're really excited about this alliance with Deloitte. We've been working on helping the UK and the policing systems really come together instead of separate units, leverage the power of Appian to systemize the way that they look at and understand and act on all the things from records to policing, the citizenship, et cetera. And my Deloitte colleagues have really, really nailed this.
So I got to ask you, is it true that cops in the UK don't carry guns?
Some do, but it's not universal.
It's not, wow, I like that. But okay, so let's get into it. So this is fascinating to me, because Deloitte, we know Deloitte is a global system integrator, deep industry expertise, but this is really deep. We're talking about, law enforcement. Yeah. So tell us about your practice there, and then we'll get into the whole case study and what you guys are doing.
Yeah, so we do a lot of work across both UK and EMEA in policing. I lead our UK policing business. And we do all sorts of things, from leadership development training through to business cases for ERP implementation, right through to the work that we're now doing with Appian on records management, which is essentially the sort of core digital platform for a policing organization, managing how they record investigations, how they manage case files through to the Crown Prosecution Service.
Do you guys have a law enforcement background? Like, how did you become so knowledgeable in this topic?
So I'll let Jamie speak for himself. I was a police officer for 12 years before I joined Deloitte. So my whole 30-year career, which I don't like to say out loud, has been spent both in and around working with policing.
And you too, Jamie? Or?
No, so I've worked with policing clients for about the last 8 years or so. So I don't have a background in law enforcement pre my consulting career, but through the work that we've done, it's been like deep in the operational challenges. So kind of picked up the knowledge there, and then working with people like Andy to kind of draw on the insight in the background. So
what is the state of policing and infrastructure and technology in the UK specifically? I'd be curious too as to how it compares across EMEA, and I don't know if we have any comparisons with the US, but what is the state, what are the challenges that they're facing?
So I think, it is a really challenging time for policing in the UK. There is increasingly complex demand, a move from criminal activity in public spaces to private and online, a need to respond to new criminality that arises from the development of artificial intelligence, but at the same time a set of macro challenges around needing to provide more with less, improve productivity, deal with the cost challenges that public sector globally is facing. And in that context, we have a very sort of distributed structure of policing in the UK, 43 geographic police forces, most of which have their own technology teams. There's some really good examples of collaboration between them, but actually as a consequence, there's quite a lot of legacy technology that needs to be replaced and upgraded to deal with some of the challenges I described.
So can we get into, like, specifically what challenges Appian and Deloitte are helping solve for the UK police, and why, what the unique attributes of Appian are, how they're being applied? Let's get into that whole case study. Where do we start?
So perhaps if I start very quickly on what we're doing, and then maybe Jamie can talk a little bit about some of the benefits that we're seeing of working with Appian and why we think this is a strong solution for policing. So as I mentioned, we are building a records management solution that manages crime investigations, the management and welfare and processing of detainees, people who've been arrested, and case files through to the Crown Prosecution Service. And it's really about bringing a next generation solution to policing that can embed AI in some really complex business processes to help policing.
What does that next generation solution look like? Maybe you could pick up on.
I think the next generation solution really gives them three things. So one is the ability to do things on the move. At the minute, the systems they work with are, as Andy said, legacy technology. They respond to a crime, they have to come back to the office, they have to type it up and do the work. With the Appian solution, we enable them to do that in the field, on the move, offline. The second is just using the data that they have better. So getting those insights, joining up the intelligence picture to see what's going on in this area that we can share in this area. And then the third is just the flexibility. So not building a solution that's great now, but in 10 years we'll need updated. It's building a solution that we can continuously change and adapt and evolve over time.
Scott, when you partner with a firm like Deloitte, and you're going into an opportunity like this one, I'd love for you to sort of simulate the conversation with these guys that you would have going into that opportunity. What kinds of things would you be asking them? You know, the answers to which would determine whether or not Appian is a good solution, a good fit. Go ahead, ask them that question.
Well, guys, I think when we started looking at this, the big thing was, A, is the relationship solid with us? B, do we have technology that can meet the needs? And then C, can we bring the solution and value to clients? And I think from the first start, we've been at this for over a year, really thinking about how complex these problems are. And you know, this type of solution, the flexibility and the agility. So what were some of your takes about how we came together and dove in? Maybe Andy, do you want to start?
Yeah, I think you described it really well. I mean, it was it's a problem that I think has needed solving for some time for UK policing. Actually, how do you modernize the technology that really sits around some of those core operational processes? And in discussion with our Appian colleagues, really identified the ability to bring flexibility, agility, both to the implementation, but also the ongoing innovation around the solution. And also the ability to give clients to make choices around how they manage some of those processes, where they bake in some of the innovation, the artificial intelligence and so on. And then I think for me there's something about our ways of working as organizations, a really strong relationship we developed which has allowed us to bring the best of our industry expertise, our scale technology delivery expertise with the platform that we think is right for UK policing.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I think one of the big things for me was that whilst we're two separate organizations, it was leave the badges at the door and work together to build a solution that actually makes a difference rather than just transactional. So that was kind of the main reason for me as well.
So take us through what that solution looks like, what a typical project looks like. Maybe it doesn't have an ending, but it does have a beginning. What's that journey look like? Where does it start? What are kind of the key prerequisites that you have to figure out going in? Who does it involve? Who are the stakeholders? How long does it take? You could feel free to tell me how much it costs or not. But no, but what are the measurements of success is really what we want to know. Maybe you guys could take us through that.
Yeah, so maybe I'll start. One of the key things that this opportunity provided us was, can we have a flexible platform that could introduce agentic, have systems of connectivity and action, and be future-proof? And would you take the IP from a firm like Deloitte and you put it combined with the Appian platform, you start unlocking possibilities the client's never seen before. So our first step was, do we have the needs and the systems to be flexible enough to meet what the UK's police forces need? And Jamie can tell you a little bit about more of the needs and how we started meeting this, because we've had to be adaptable and flexible as we've gone through the journey.
Yeah, because as King Charles said yesterday in front of the US Congress, you don't speak UK, you don't speak British. So these guys have, you've got the account affinity, so you had to determine that Appian was the right partner to bring into this opportunity. Why did you determine that? How did you determine that? And where did you take it from there?
Yeah, I mean, Jamie, do you maybe want to reflect from a technology perspective and then I can talk about the policing dimension?
Yeah, I think we were presented with an opportunity in the UK about 12 to 18 months ago where they released a lot of requirements of what they want to see in a new system, how they want policing to evolve from a technology perspective. We sat down and kind of discussed internally what technology makes the most sense from a perspective of Deloitte. What they wanted was flexibility, the ability to use AI, the ability to kind of do things on the go, to use data better, get some insights. And Appian and us had a discussion, we thought, yeah, this is probably the best fit for all those reasons. And then since then, we've not built the solution that we think is a really good fit for policing. We've used what policing have told us they want. So that's working with users, people who've retired from policing, using our insights from working across UK policing for the last 10 plus years. So yeah, it was a bit of a joint kind of working together to get the solution right.
I think there's a balance. I mean, I like to describe us in the UK as a partner to policing, and part of our job is bringing innovation to our clients. And we've spent a lot of time over the last year building the solution and innovating around that, spending time with clients, understanding what their needs are, and how their needs are going to evolve and how we can give them something that's going to be able to adapt to that. Because I think the demand on policing organizations is so complex and changing so fast, we need to give them something that is going to be usable in 10 years' time and not just in a year's time.
And the value to UK Police is the efficiency that you're driving, cost cutting. What are the sort of value metrics that they care about?
I think it's a combination of things. I think it is, some of it's about productivity, which comes from Jamie talked about being able to do things on the move, so when you're out on patrol rather than having to come back to a terminal and do your work. Some of it is about having access to things like artificial intelligence, to help you make sensible decisions, a sort of co-pilot activity alongside the core things that you're doing. For me, it's about surfacing really important operational information from the data that policing holds and to enable them to make better decisions.
So what kind of decisions are they? Is it like in the field decisions on maybe danger levels, or is it more sort of the best route to take?
I mean, a really good example might be somebody is brought into the police station having been arrested. I think it's fair to say that, quite often people who've been arrested have been arrested before, and it can take quite a long time to surface the information that you have on that individual. So what we're looking at is how do we make sure that the person who is responsible for the welfare of that individual has access to the important information to make sensible risk-based judgments about how to look after them, what their medical needs might be, any relevant markers around how they behave or what they might do whilst they're being detained. So it's really about surfacing that information to allow people to make decisions based on the information they hold rather than what's in front of them.
What is your relationship with the client? How can you? When was that established? You've obviously proven yourselves. I'm trying to understand why Deloitte.
So my job is to build our relationship with the policing sector in the UK and obviously across, with my colleagues in EMEA as well. And I talked about being a partner to the sector. For me, that's about spending time with our clients, even when we're not contracted to do something with them. It's about understanding their challenges, getting under the skin of those challenges. And then I have the privilege of a fantastic team and working with colleagues like Appian to go away and think about how we solve some of those problems.
So it's not a transactional relationship, clearly. And you have pan-European responsibility, or?
Yes, so as well as leading our UK business, I coordinate our activities across Europe, because again, what we find is we have real pockets of different expertise in different practices, in different geographies. And again, to my point around trying to make sure we bring the best of that thinking to our clients, we build that connection with our colleagues in Europe to bring together that knowledge for our clients in different geographies.
Are you able to, what's the delta across Europe? Are there learnings that you can take from, I'm sure there are, from UK experience, bring it to other regions?
One of the things I was most struck by when I took on my EMEA role actually was the extent to which there is a real commonality of policing challenges, actually, whether it is the changing nature of demand, or how do you make sure that you maximize officers' time out on the street where they can be visible and supporting the public. So those kind of macro themes are really, really common. Where the value comes in our connectivity across EMEA.
Actionable insights based on decades of collective experience and data. Together, these experts analyze the most impactful developments at the cutting edge of the tech industry. Join the CUBE collective as they analyze the shifts transforming and shaping the future of technology. theCUBE, the leading source for technology news and analysis, with exclusive access to the hottest technology events from around the globe. In-depth interviews with industry giants and innovative startups disrupting the landscape. Tune in live or catch the action on demand at thecube.net for current real-time conversations. theCUBE, extracting the signal from the noise. theCUBE brings you the latest news and trends from the heart of the Silicon Valley. Our experts provide in-depth analysis, interviews with industry leaders, and breaking enterprise technology news. Don't just listen. Join the conversation. Be part of the community. theCUBE, extracting the signal from the noise.
theCUBE is one of the most valuable resources in the industry, and I don't say that just from the vendor side. End users say they look at your stuff all the time, and that's what matters most. What do the end users do, and what do the channel partners do who take care of those end users? And they both comment to me multiple times on the guys cover the entire gamut.
But this is really about helping people sort of understand, educate them, and inspire them to take action.
Yeah. Takes a village. It's not me. It's a village, and thank you guys for starting to cover it so early.
It's always a pleasure to be here, and hey, congratulations to you, theCUBE, the whole business you put together. It's pretty freaking amazing, man.
theCUBE brings you the latest news and trends from the heart of the Silicon Valley. Our experts provide in-depth analysis, interviews with industry leaders, and breaking enterprise technology news. Don't just listen. Join the conversation. Be part of the community. theCUBE, extracting the signal from the noise. From the biggest stories to the most complex analysis, theCUBE has got you covered. With well over a decade in the fast-paced world of enterprise technology, theCUBE is the only destination that caters to business leaders and tech enthusiasts alike. Join hosts Dave Volante, John Furrier, and many others as they interview industry leaders and visionaries to get an insider's perspective on the latest trends and groundbreaking developments shaping the tech landscape. theCUBE offers comprehensive coverage on a myriad of topics, including artificial intelligence, cloud computing, cybersecurity, data analytics, and so much more. With a community of over 17,000 experts, you're bound to learn a thing or two from our extended coverage at live events or in our studios. Dive deep into thousands of interviews and even go back to past interviews to see how the industry has changed. Or hop on over to SiliconANGLE Media, where our dedicated team of writers work to bring daily articles to over 4 million unique readers each quarter. Go beyond surface-level coverage and unearth critical insights and strategies that fuel success in today's dynamic tech environment. Whether you're an executive looking to learn more about a product, a tech enthusiast hungry for knowledge, or an entrepreneur searching for inspiration, theCUBE is the premier destination for you. Don't miss out on the opportunity to be part of the conversation shaping the future of technology. Tune in to theCUBE and SiliconANGLE Media and join the thought leaders at the forefront of innovation in the world of business and technology. theCUBE, extracting the signal from the noise.
Welcome back to Appian World 26. We're streaming live in Orlando. I'm Allison Casic alongside Dave Volante, and I want to get straight to Appian founder and CEO Matt Calkins, who joins us now in theCUBE. Welcome back to theCUBE.
Hi Allison, thanks.
So you teamed up, first of all, congratulations on a fantastic keynote.
It's been really, yeah.
thoroughly enjoyed it, and this has been a fantastic conference, so I really enjoyed it.
Thanks.
Now you teamed up with Harvard Business Review on a study about AI in the enterprise. What are you seeing in the market that made you want to take a closer look?
Yeah, well of course we're very close to the AI progress generally because we're helping it along. We're a key complement to AI technology, and we want to see what progress we're making, particularly as regards to whether AI can be used in our backyard, which is the largest companies doing the most critical work in an error-intolerant way. We were curious whether AI could be brought to those customers and what it would take. And we found from the HBR study that while AI is universally accepted and every organization out there is trying to make the most out of it, that especially in serious use cases like the ones I just described, AI uptake has been slow. And this mirrors a set of other findings in the last 12 months from PwC, MIT, McKinsey, and others that have said that AI hasn't created enough value. It hasn't been used enough in strategic use cases. It may be fine for personal productivity, but it's not getting used for business decisions, customer-facing things, regulator-facing things. We need to find a way to make AI connect to the most important work in the world, and Appian is doing that. So we're very interested in a close-up of the adoption of AI for the most strategic use cases.
I mean, I made a prediction in early this year that this is going to be the year of enterprise IT, and frankly, it's been elusive, so I'm so super excited to be here at this conference because I'm seeing some real evidence.
I agree with you. This is the year where AI hits the enterprise, but it doesn't happen automatically. We've got to make it happen. We have to reassure people that AI can be safe enough to be used in the most enterprise cases and do the most valuable work, and we're achieving that with guardrails, with structure, with process. In a word, we're giving process gives AI what it's missing otherwise. Process gives AI the safety, the reliability, the structure, the guardrails, the specialization that AI doesn't have alone.
And that, you're saying, is what makes Appian stand out in this whole landscape.
That's our exact role, is to give AI all of that structure and safety and allow it to do the world's most important work. Without Appian and without process, you couldn't trust AI to do that work. It's not reliable enough. But with the structure of a process, now you can. So we are the vehicle by which AI can address the world's most important work.
One of the really cool things that I've learned this week is this company was founded by 4 individuals who are still at the company, not only at the company, but actively involved as operators, that is really unique.
It's a remarkable thing. I don't know of another technology company that kept all 4 founders together for a quarter century.
First of all, we love founder-led companies because they go into founder mode, but 4 founders who are actively involved is, I think it's a unicorn in that sense. I couldn't even come close to naming another company like that.
Yeah.
So congratulations on
Thank you.
Keeping that together for so long. You wrote an article in the Wall Street Journal, which was, you talked about open source and the whole narrative in the industry of, open source is going to kill software, and it didn't. It actually lifted software to new heights, and you use that as an example of what's happening in AI. I wonder if you could explain the premise.
Sure. The core premise there is that technology advances recently have made it seem like code is free. And in many ways it is free, it's becoming free. And if code becomes free, does that mean that the software industry disappears? And the answer is, code has been free already. Open source is free code, and it doesn't mean the software industry disappears. It means it just adapts and it addresses a higher end niche, or it specializes in order to complement in other ways. But software survives even though code becomes free. You know, the real cost of building an application these days isn't actually the code, it's the trust. It's the safety and the reliability. Code may be cheap, but mistakes are expensive. And so when people tally up the reasons why it's expensive to build an application, I think these days they're already thinking more about whether it's reliable than whether the code itself was expensive.
As we move into this new era of AI agents, how should leaders be thinking about the balance of power between autonomy and orchestration?
Yeah, all right, so I'm not sure I understand your question entirely.
Okay,
sorry.
So there has to be guardrails. You've talked about the guardrails, especially knowing that 92% of leaders agree that AI agents need these rules-based guardrails, but less than half have defined them.
Yeah, you know, this is a fascinating thing that we discovered in the HBR survey. It's the customers and users of AI around the world, they know what they need. They just haven't done it yet. They know 18% of them have integrated AI into a process so far, but like 71% of them are working on it. And 92% say they know they need rules-based guardrails, but most of them haven't done it yet. So it's not hopeless. You can look across the economy and realize that people they know what they need to make AI reliable. And if you worry why they haven't put AI into strategic use cases yet, it's because they understand they haven't done the things they need to, like given the guardrails and put it in a process. They're cognizant, 71% are putting it in a process now, it's just taken a while. They know what they need, and it's our job to help them get there.
I want to come back to this idea of open source, the article that you wrote, and what it means for the future of AI. You know, I'm struck by listening to you. I remember well, and you may also, you've been focused on building a business, but the Hortonworks and Cloudera battle in the big data days, and the narrative was, Red Hat's the only company who's been able to make money at open source, and I would say every single company in the world uses open source. So anybody who's making money is making money as a result of open source, at least as a foundation.
I think the majority of the code running worldwide is open source
question,
at this point.
Right?
Open source has been incredibly successful, but the fact that it made code free didn't stop software. Software industry has grown by a multiple 5x since the open source movement began. So we can coexist. You know, software will continue, and particularly around AI, there's an incredible vibrance around software that relates to and accelerates AI.
And you think about, you know, stacks, the LAMP stack, the modern data stack, and now the AI stack is forming and it's emerging. And I want to help the audience understand how you see that and where Appian fits.
Yeah, this is fascinating. AI is going to triumph, right? AI is going to be all over the world and every organization is going to use it, but it's not going to go there alone. It's going to need certain supportive technologies that go everywhere AI goes, and one of those is what Appian represents, which is the process, the structure to keep AI reliable. We're not the only one though. You could also say that AI is going to require software that reviews the reliability of the code it writes after the fact, or you know, there's going to be other things, right?
But that's a coding agent. That's a coding
databases,
agent, right?
Right, there are going to be other things that AI requires.
Oh, for sure, okay.
Right.
It'll
encourage new forms of APIs and regulating, you know, an ecosystem across the enterprise.
Yes, okay, but like a coding assistant that tests code, okay, that's nice and that's important, but you're doing something that's, my view anyway, far more interesting, which is providing the governance capabilities to be trusted. That chart that you did, your pyramid with the reliability, if you're 2 nines, no big deal, but if you need 4 nines and 5 nines and you know, more nines, that's where you guys come in.
Here's the thing, AI has the potential to write so many applications around the world, and so far the means by which we're doing it are only suitable for low reliability applications. That's what people call vibe coding. Vibe coding is fine if you don't need perfect performance, but if you have to be accurate all the time, like if you're deciding who gets a loan or deciding personal safety or complying with essential regulations, then you need more reliability, more nines, they would say. You know, you need 2, 3, 4, 5 nines. And in that case, vibe coding is not nearly reliable enough. So what we're doing is providing a structure in which you can do spec-driven development that results in a far more predictable and reliable application.
With you saying that AI is not as, you know, able to generate code that's more reliable, I'm wondering why maybe you feel more confident that this isn't a more fundamental disruption.
Yeah, well, okay, so AI is able to generate code, but it needs help, right? It by itself, it's going to be able to generate some kind of quasi-reliable applications, but with the right structure, and we're providing the right structure, you could write the most exacting software on earth with natural language. You could start with natural language, but if you're doing the kind of review steps that we put in place, the kind of iteration that we put in place, you're going to be able to write the highest tolerance software in the world with a natural language starting point.
So when you think about the AI stack that's emerging, I mean, we're not just going to throw everything out and bring in you know, all this new stack, but it's going to evolve over time. And so you've got these historical systems of analytics, Snowflake, Databricks, and then you've got the sort of real-time, you know, transaction systems. You guys sort of interact with all of that, if I understand it, with Data Fabric.
Yes, we do.
we see this, what we call the system of intelligence emerging, which is this sort of harmonization layer that takes that data and similar to what Palantir's doing, but they're kind of in, I would put them in an analytics bucket. Yeah. We see you guys as the system of agency, we like to call it, system of action, some people call it. But
that's right.
But your secret sauce, as we see it, is bringing together the deterministic and the probabilistic together, understanding when to apply each. I wonder if you could pick it up from there and talk about your vision of the future AI stack.
Yeah, okay, so I agree with you. We're bringing together the deterministic and the probabilistic and repairing the gaps that AI will perpetually have in terms of reliability because it's probabilistic. I also agree with you on the parallel between Appian and Palantir. Palantir is a little more focused on the data with their ontology product, but of course our data fabric is somewhat similar to that, and then we're more focused on the action. However, I love how the stack is getting re-architected right now because certain firms are going to be participating in the new AI enterprise and others are not. To be part of the AI enterprise, you've got to be transparent, open, participatory across the enterprise. Like at this point, you could develop an Appian application without ever opening a window in Appian. Not just call Appian, not just run it, not just use MCP, but literally design the entire application without ever opening an Appian screen. I think that's what it means to be part of the new AI enterprise. Having complete usability in from other interfaces and being able to handle requests from any direction.
Okay, and for our audience, sometimes we like to put companies in buckets, Gartner Magic Quadrants and the like.
Yeah, that's right.
It's instructive, and so the Palantir example is a good one because they're doing some really interesting work around harmonization. Data Fabric starts to touch on that, so I'm interested in how far you see Appian going in terms of that harmonization and the semantics, because that's a bit of a different vector.
That's right. Well, okay, so Data Fabric is the closest thing to ontology right now in the market from what I have seen.
Yeah.
And it's well beyond what other people are calling Data Fabric. They've co-opted the term, but ours is read-write and auto-tuned and performant and security because you're using qualification, you're using the logons from whoever you're asking the question as, so it's incredibly sophisticated and it's light, which is perfect for today's distributed enterprises. So what we're doing there is actually kind of comparable, though we haven't competed directly.
Okay.
We just use it to support action.
And I would see a company like Celonis, they're pretty good at process mining, but they don't have the system of agency that you have, taking action. I see UiPath is very tactical, they're taking basically RPA on steroids.
Yeah.
And so the question is strategically, I mean, you're in a good spot because you are a high value piece of real estate in the AI stack.
The blessing of this organization has always been that we started at the right place, that we have the right foundation. It's funny to hear you compare us to these organizations, UiPath and Celonis, because they're similarly ambitious, and they're of course terrific companies in their own right, but we started in the right place. Process is the ideal center point for controlling the enterprise, for regulating an imperfect technology like AI. If you start at the right point, then you can extend power out across in all directions, and it's better to start with something strategically sound, like a process, than something lighter and more peripheral.
And your superpower, as I see it, relative to those others, is you can, through Data Fabric, extract not only the data, but the underlying application logic and the process knowledge, and bring that in. And it's a difficult step, but there's a path there to that, what we call that system of intelligence harmonization layer.
Data Fabric is unbelievably powerful, and I like to say it's like bringing the enterprise to your doorstep, except you didn't have to move it. You've got the kind of connectivity and intimate control over far-flung silos and databases, but you don't have to move them. So it's the best way to lightly integrate the whole enterprise, and these days that information is more important than ever. An agent is only as smart as the data you give it, for example, and so having a data fabric where the agent can just surf the enterprise and find out what it needs to know makes your AI better.
And they're in my ear, and I know you have a hard stop, but I feel like we're just getting started. Would love to have you back and have this discussion in our New York Stock Exchange studio. This is fascinating. My last question is it your intent to expand your TAM by trying to take this capability, which Data Fabric gives you, as a horizontal layer across the entire AI landscape and ecosystem.
We've been tempted, but here's the way I see it. Once the data fabric layer is in place, it becomes a tool for AI anywhere in the enterprise. And our number one goal in thriving in the AI ecosystem, number one goal is be useful. So the data fabric is useful. You put it out there and now it's a resource for any agent, and if we're getting calls and we're providing information, then we're useful. I would offer that as advice to any company these days. Things are changing, you don't know where your cheese is going to be next week, so just be useful. And then ideally, if you can, be open and be safe. But it starts with be useful above all, and the data fabric serves a purpose.
And the TAM expansion then will take care of itself, so.
The TAM has exploded, right? We can do so much more now with AI as a part of our processes. I feel like we've doubled the power we can offer to our clients and doubled the TAM, and you can see that in the testimonials that have been on stage this week. Story after story with incredible, hard numbers behind what they've accomplished. I think it must be the most impressive lineup of results I've ever seen at Appian World, and this is the 15th time we've done it.
Well, I think that message is going to play well with the street. I know you have your Investor Day coming up, I think, in May, so congratulations and thank you for having us here. It's really been a pleasure.
It has, and thanks for bringing such good energy to the floor.
Matt Calkins, thanks for stopping by theCUBE. I know your schedule is busy.
Thank you.
And you've been watching theCUBE, the leader in live technology coverage and enterprise tech analysis. We'll be right back.
The CUBE Collective is a community of dynamic, independent thought leaders, industry experts, and professionals from across the enterprise technology landscape. The CUBE has assembled a diverse group of executives, entrepreneurs, and innovators who collaborate to explore, amplify, and discuss emerging trends, innovations, and challenges shaping the future of technology. The goal of the CUBE Collective is to foster knowledge sharing, spark meaningful conversations, and provide actionable insights based on decades of collective experience and data. Together, these experts analyze the most impactful developments at the cutting edge of the tech industry. Join the CUBE Collective as they analyze the shifts transforming and shaping the future of technology. theCUBE, the leading source for technology news and analysis, with exclusive access to the hottest technology events from around the globe. In-depth interviews with industry giants and innovative startups disrupting the landscape. Tune in live or catch the action on demand at thecube.net for current real-time conversations. theCUBE, extracting the signal from the noise. theCUBE brings you the latest news and trends from the heart of the Silicon Valley. Our experts provide in-depth analysis, interviews with industry leaders, and breaking enterprise technology news. Don't just listen. Join the conversation. Be part of the community. theCUBE, extracting the signal from the noise.
theCUBE is one of the most valuable resources in the industry, and I don't say that just from the vendor side. End users say they look at your stuff all the time, and that's what matters most. What do the end users do? and what do the channel partners do who take care of those end users. And they both commented to me multiple times on the value theCUBE delivers to them to really understanding technology, not just in storage, but in all the other areas, because you guys cover the entire gamut.
But this is really about helping people sort of understand, educate them, and inspire them to take action.
Yeah. Takes a village. It's not me. It's a village, and thank you guys for starting to cover it so early.
It's always a pleasure to be here, and hey, congratulations to you, theCUBE, the whole business you put together. It's pretty freaking amazing, man.
theCUBE brings you the latest news and trends from the heart of the Silicon Valley. Our experts provide in-depth analysis, interviews with industry leaders, and breaking enterprise technology news. Don't just listen. Join the conversation. Be part of the community. theCUBE, extracting the signal from the noise. From the biggest stories to the most complex analysis, theCUBE has got you covered. With well over a decade in the fast-paced world of enterprise technology, theCUBE is the only destination that caters to business leaders and tech enthusiasts alike. Join hosts Dave Volante, John Furrier, and many others as they interview industry leaders and visionaries to get an insider's perspective on the latest trends and groundbreaking developments shaping the tech landscape. theCUBE offers comprehensive coverage on a myriad of topics, including artificial intelligence, cloud computing, cybersecurity, data analytics, and so much more. With a community of over 17,000 experts, you're bound to learn a thing or two from our extended coverage at live events or in our studios. Dive deep into thousands of interviews and even go back to past interviews to see how the industry has changed. Or hop on over to SiliconANGLE Media, where our dedicated team of writers work to bring daily articles to over 4 million unique readers each quarter. Go beyond surface-level coverage and unearth critical insights and strategies that fuel success in today's dynamic tech environment. Whether you're an executive looking to learn more about a product, a tech enthusiast hungry for knowledge, or an entrepreneur searching for inspiration, theCUBE is the premier destination for you. Don't miss out on the opportunity to be part of the conversation shaping the future of technology. Tune in to theCUBE and SiliconANGLE Media and join the thought leaders at the forefront of innovation in the world of business and technology. theCUBE, extracting the signal from the noise.
appreciate the incredible coverage theCUBE provides, not just for this show, but for decades. You guys have been with us and helping to educate and inform our customers in the community and really bringing out the great stories.
It's great to be with you guys. This is a tradition. We've done this a lot of years together.
Thank you for covering Discover for so many years.
The CUBE Collective is a community of dynamic, independent thought leaders, industry experts, and professionals from across the enterprise technology landscape. The CUBE has assembled a diverse group of executives, entrepreneurs, and innovators who collaborate to explore, amplify, and discuss emerging trends, innovations, and challenges shaping the future of technology. The goal of the CUBE Collective is to foster knowledge sharing, spark meaningful conversations, and provide actionable insights based on decades of collective experience and data. Together, these experts analyze the most impactful developments at the cutting edge of the tech industry. Join the CUBE Collective as they analyze the shifts transforming and shaping the future of technology. theCUBE, the leading source for technology news and analysis with exclusive access to the hottest technology events from around the globe. In-depth interviews with industry giants and innovative startups disrupting the landscape. Tune in live or catch the action on demand at thecube.net for current real-time conversations. theCUBE, extracting the signal from the noise. theCUBE brings you the latest news and trends from the heart of the Silicon Valley. Our experts provide in-depth analysis, interviews with industry leaders, and breaking enterprise technology news. Don't just listen. Join the conversation. Be part of the community. theCUBE, extracting the signal from the noise.
The CUBE is one of the most valuable resources in the industry, and I don't say that just from the vendor side. End users say they look at your stuff all the time, and that's what matters most. What do the end users do, and what do the channel partners do who take care of those end users? And they both commented to me multiple times on the value the CUBE delivers to them to really understanding technology, not just in storage, but in all the other areas, because you guys cover the entire gamut.
But this is really about helping people sort of understand, educate them, and inspire them to take action.
Yeah. Takes a village. It's not me. It's a village, and thank you guys for starting to cover it so early.
It's always a pleasure to be here, and hey, congratulations to you, theCUBE, the whole business you put together. It's pretty freaking amazing, man.
theCUBE brings you the latest news and trends from the heart of the Silicon Valley. Our experts provide in-depth analysis, interviews with industry leaders, and breaking enterprise technology news. Don't just listen. Join the conversation. Be part of the community. theCUBE, extracting the signal from the noise. From the biggest stories to the most complex analysis, theCUBE has got you covered. With well over a decade in the fast-paced world of enterprise technology, theCUBE is the only destination that caters to business leaders and tech enthusiasts alike. Join hosts Dave Volante, John Furrier, and many others as they interview industry leaders and visionaries to get an insider's perspective on the latest trends and groundbreaking developments shaping the tech landscape. theCUBE offers comprehensive coverage on a myriad of topics, including artificial intelligence, cloud computing, cybersecurity, data analytics, and so much more. With a community of over 17,000 experts, you're bound to learn a thing or two from our extended coverage at live events or in our studios. Dive deep into thousands of interviews and even go back to past interviews to see how the industry has changed. Or hop on over to SiliconANGLE Media, where our dedicated team of writers work to bring daily articles to over 4 million unique readers each quarter. Go beyond surface-level coverage and unearth critical insights and strategies that fuel success in today's dynamic tech environment. Whether you're an executive looking to learn more about a product, a tech enthusiast hungry for knowledge, or an entrepreneur searching for inspiration, theCUBE is the premier destination for you. Don't miss out on the opportunity to be part of the conversation shaping the future of technology. Tune in to theCUBE and SiliconANGLE Media and join the thought leaders at the forefront of innovation in the world of business and technology. theCUBE, extracting the signal from the noise.
Appreciate the incredible coverage theCUBE provides, not just for this show, but for decades. You guys have been with us and helping to educate and inform our customers in the community and really bringing out the great stories.
It's great to be with you guys. This is a tradition. We've done this a lot of years together.
Thank you for covering Discover for so many years.
The CUBE Collective is a community of dynamic, independent thought leaders, industry experts, and professionals from across the enterprise technology landscape. The CUBE has assembled a diverse group of executives, entrepreneurs, and innovators who collaborate to explore, amplify, and discuss emerging trends, innovations, and challenges shaping the future of technology. The goal of the CUBE Collective is to foster knowledge sharing, spark meaningful conversations, and provide actionable insights based on decades of collective experience and data. Together, these experts analyze the most impactful developments at the cutting edge of the tech industry. Join the CUBE Collective as they analyze the shifts transforming and shaping the future of technology. theCUBE, the leading source for technology news and analysis, with exclusive access to the hottest technology events from around the globe. In-depth interviews with industry giants and innovative startups disrupting the landscape. Tune in live or catch the action on demand at thecube.net for current real-time conversations. theCUBE, extracting the signal from the noise. theCUBE brings you the latest news and trends from the heart of the Silicon Valley. Our experts provide in-depth analysis, interviews with industry leaders, and breaking enterprise technology news. Don't just listen. Join the conversation. Be part of the community. theCUBE, extracting the signal from the noise.
theCUBE is one of the most valuable resources in the industry, and I don't say that just from the vendor side. End users say they look at your stuff all the time, and that's what matters most. What do the end users do, and what do the channel partners do who take care of those end users? And they both commented to me multiple times on the value theCUBE delivers to them to really understanding technology, not just in storage, but in all the other areas, because you guys cover the entire gamut.
But this is really about helping people sort of understand, educate them, and inspire them to take action.
Yeah. It takes a village. It's not me, it's a village, and thank you guys for starting to cover it so early.
It's always a pleasure to be here, and hey, congratulations to you, theCUBE, the whole business you put together. It's pretty freaking amazing, man.
theCUBE brings you the latest news and trends from the heart of the Silicon Valley. Our experts provide in-depth analysis, interviews with industry leaders, and breaking enterprise technology news. Don't just listen. Join the conversation. Be part of the community. theCUBE, extracting the signal from the noise. From the biggest stories to the most complex analysis, theCUBE has got you covered. With well over a decade in the fast-paced world of enterprise technology, theCUBE is the only destination that caters to business leaders and tech enthusiasts alike. Join hosts Dave Volante, John Furrier, and many others as they interview industry leaders and visionaries to get an insider's perspective on the latest trends and groundbreaking developments shaping the tech landscape. theCUBE offers comprehensive coverage on a myriad of topics, including artificial intelligence, cloud computing, cybersecurity, data analytics, and so much more. With a community of over 17,000 experts, you're bound to learn a thing or two from our extended coverage at live events or in our studios. Dive deep into thousands of interviews and even go back to past interviews to see how the industry has changed. Or hop on over to SiliconANGLE Media, where our dedicated team of writers work to bring daily articles to over 4 million unique readers each quarter. Go beyond surface-level coverage and unearth critical insights and strategies that fuel success in today's dynamic tech environment. Whether you're an executive looking to learn more about a product, a tech enthusiast hungry for knowledge, or an entrepreneur searching for inspiration, theCUBE is the premier destination for you. Don't miss out on the opportunity to be part of the conversation shaping the future of technology. Tune in to theCUBE and SiliconANGLE Media and join the thought leaders at the forefront of innovation in the world of business and technology. theCUBE, extracting the signal from the noise.
Appreciate the incredible coverage theCUBE provides, not just for this show, but for decades. You guys have been with us and helping to educate and inform our customers in the community and really bringing out the great stories.
It's great to be with you guys. This is a tradition. We've done this a lot of years together.
Thank you for covering Discover for so many years.
The CUBE Collective is a community of dynamic, independent thought leaders, industry experts, and professionals from across the enterprise technology landscape. The CUBE has assembled a diverse group of executives, entrepreneurs, and innovators who collaborate to explore, amplify, and discuss emerging trends, innovations, and challenges shaping the future of technology. The goal of the CUBE Collective is to foster knowledge sharing, spark meaningful conversations, and provide actionable insights based on decades of collective experience and data. Together, these experts analyze the most impactful developments at the cutting edge of the tech industry. Join the CUBE Collective as they analyze the shifts transforming and shaping the future of technology. theCUBE, the leading source for technology news and analysis with exclusive access to the hottest technology events from around the globe. In-depth interviews with industry giants and innovative startups disrupting the landscape. Tune in live or catch the action on demand at thecube.net for current real-time conversations. theCUBE, extracting the signal from the noise. theCUBE brings you the latest news and trends from the heart of the Silicon Valley. Our experts provide in-depth analysis, interviews with industry leaders, and breaking enterprise technology news. Don't just listen. Join the conversation. Be part of the community. theCUBE, extracting the signal from the noise.
The CUBE is one of the most valuable resources in the industry, and I don't say that just from the vendor side. End users say they look at your stuff all the time, and that's what matters most. What do the end users do, and what do the channel partners do who take care of those end users? And they both comment to me multiple times on the value the CUBE delivers to them to really understanding technology, not just in storage, but in all the other areas, because you guys cover the entire gamut.
But this is really about helping people sort of understand, educate them, and inspire them to take action.
Yeah. Takes a village. It's not me. It's a village, and thank you guys for starting to cover it so early.
It's always a pleasure to be here, and hey, congratulations to you, theCUBE, the whole business you put together. It's pretty freaking amazing, man.
theCUBE brings you the latest news and trends from the heart of the Silicon Valley. Our experts provide in-depth analysis, interviews with industry leaders, and breaking enterprise technology news. Don't just listen. Join the conversation. Be part of the community. theCUBE, extracting the signal from the noise. From the biggest stories to the most complex analysis, theCUBE has got you covered. With well over a decade in the fast-paced world of enterprise technology, theCUBE is the only destination that caters to business leaders and tech enthusiasts alike. Join hosts Dave Volante, John Furrier, and many others as they interview industry leaders and visionaries to get an insider's perspective on the latest trends and groundbreaking developments shaping the tech landscape. theCUBE offers comprehensive coverage on a myriad of topics, including artificial intelligence, cloud computing, cybersecurity, data analytics, and so much more. With a community of over 17,000 experts, you're bound to learn a thing or two from our extended coverage at live events or in our studios. Dive deep into thousands of interviews and even go back to past interviews to see how the industry has changed. Or hop on over to SiliconANGLE Media, where our dedicated team of writers work to bring daily articles to over 4 million unique readers each quarter. Go beyond surface-level coverage and unearth critical insights and strategies that fuel success in today's dynamic tech environment. Whether you're an executive looking to learn more about a product, a tech enthusiast hungry for knowledge, or an entrepreneur searching for inspiration, theCUBE is the premier destination for you. Don't miss out on the opportunity to be part of the conversation shaping the future of technology. Tune in to theCUBE and SiliconANGLE Media and join the thought leaders at the forefront of innovation in the world of business and technology. theCUBE, extracting the signal from the noise.
Appreciate the incredible coverage theCUBE provides, not just for this show, but for decades. You guys have been with us and helping to educate and inform our customers in the community and really bringing out the great stories.
It's great to be with you guys. This is a tradition. We've done this a lot of years together.
Thank you for covering Discover for so many years.
The CUBE Collective is a community of dynamic, independent thought leaders, industry experts, and professionals from across the enterprise technology landscape. The CUBE has assembled a diverse group of executives, entrepreneurs, and innovators who collaborate to explore, amplify, and discuss emerging trends, innovations, and challenges shaping the future of technology. The goal of the CUBE Collective is to foster knowledge sharing, spark meaningful conversations, and provide actionable insights based on decades of collective experience and data. Together, these experts analyze the most impactful developments at the cutting edge of the tech industry. Join the CUBE Collective as they analyze the shifts transforming and shaping the future of technology. theCUBE, the leading source for technology news and analysis, with exclusive access to the hottest technology events from around the globe. In-depth interviews with industry giants and innovative startups disrupting the landscape. Tune in live or catch the action on demand at thecube.net for current real-time conversations. theCUBE, extracting the signal from the noise. theCUBE brings you the latest news and trends from the heart of the Silicon Valley. Our experts provide in-depth analysis, interviews with industry leaders, and breaking enterprise technology news. Don't just listen. Join the conversation. Be part of the community. theCUBE, extracting the signal from the noise.
The CUBE is one of the most valuable resources in the industry, and I don't say that just from the vendor side. End users say they look at your stuff all the time, and that's what matters most. What do the end users do, and what do the channel partners do who take care of those end users? And they both comment to me multiple times on the value the CUBE delivers to them to really understanding technology, not just in storage, but in all the other areas, because you guys cover the entire gamut.
But this is really about helping people sort of understand, educate them, and inspire them to take action.
Yeah. Takes a village. It's not me. It's a village, and thank you guys for starting to cover it so early.
It's always a pleasure to be here, and hey, congratulations to you, theCUBE, the whole business you put together. It's pretty freaking amazing, man.
theCUBE brings you the latest news and trends from the heart of the Silicon Valley. Our experts provide in-depth analysis, interviews with industry leaders, and breaking enterprise technology news. Don't just listen. Join the conversation. Be part of the community. theCUBE, extracting the signal from the noise. From the biggest stories to the most complex analysis, theCUBE has got you covered. With well over a decade in the fast-paced world of enterprise technology, theCUBE is the only destination that caters to business leaders and tech enthusiasts alike. Join hosts Dave Volante, John Furrier, and many others as they interview industry leaders and visionaries to get an insider's perspective on the latest trends and groundbreaking developments shaping the tech landscape. theCUBE offers comprehensive coverage on a myriad of topics, including artificial intelligence, cloud computing, cybersecurity, data analytics, and so much more. With a community of over 17,000 experts, you're bound to learn a thing or two from our extended coverage at live events or in our studios. Dive deep into thousands of interviews and even go back to past interviews to see how the industry has changed. Or hop on over to SiliconANGLE Media, where our dedicated team of writers work to bring daily articles to over 4 million unique readers each quarter. Go beyond surface-level coverage and unearth critical insights and strategies that fuel success in today's dynamic tech environment. Whether you're an executive looking to learn more about a product, a tech enthusiast hungry for knowledge, or an entrepreneur searching for inspiration, theCUBE is the premier destination for you. Don't miss out on the opportunity to be part of the conversation shaping the future of technology. Tune in to theCUBE at SiliconANGLE Media and join the thought leaders at the forefront of innovation in the world of business and technology. theCUBE, extracting the signal from the noise.
Appreciate the incredible coverage theCUBE provides, not just for this show, but for decades. You guys have been with us and helping to educate and inform our customers in the community and really bringing out the great stories.
It's great to be with you guys. This is a tradition. We've done this a lot of years together.
Thank you for covering Discover for so many years.
The CUBE Collective is a community of dynamic, independent thought leaders, industry experts, and professionals from across the enterprise technology landscape. The CUBE has assembled a diverse group of executives, entrepreneurs, and innovators who collaborate to explore, amplify, and discuss emerging trends, innovations, and challenges shaping the future of technology. The goal of the CUBE Collective is to foster knowledge sharing, spark meaningful conversations, and provide actionable insights based on decades of collective experience and data. Together, these experts analyze the most impactful developments at the cutting edge of the tech industry. Join the CUBE Collective as they analyze the shifts transforming and shaping the future of technology. theCUBE, the leading source for technology news and analysis, with exclusive access to the hottest technology events from around the globe. In-depth interviews with industry giants and innovative startups disrupting the landscape. Tune in live or catch the action on demand at thecube.net for current real-time conversations. theCUBE, extracting the signal from the noise.
Welcome back to Appian World 26. We're streaming live here in Orlando. I'm Allison, Casic, and we're about to get into a conversation about proving AI and automation value. And I want to bring in our next guest, Greta Peterman. She is the Principal Business Value Engineer at Appian. Welcome to theCUBE.
Thank you.
So, Greta, it seems to be we're in a moment where everything is about AI. It's everywhere, everybody's talking about it, there's a lot of pilots. It just feels like there's a lot of hype. What do you think is driving the shift toward measurable business outcomes right now?
Well, I think the key part is that AI in and of itself is just AI. It's like an engine without a car, and you really have to put AI within a workflow process in order to have it work deterministically and effectively. Otherwise, it's just an opportunity without really a targeted outcome.
And what do you mean deterministically?
Well, generally AI in and of itself is probabilistic, and you want to make sure that it's deterministic, especially when you're working with a large enterprise. You need to have compliance, you need to have auditability. You can't just have it be more of a personal productivity tool in order to actually have it provide measurable outcomes for the business.
And probabilistic, it's a word that Matt Calkins in the Keynote kind of made fun of. Walk me through, define probabilistic as well.
Well, when I read
These are all new words, even he said.
Well, what I found out, I read OpenAI, they had a paper, and what I really loved about it is that it's like when you're a kid going and doing a test. You have some kids that were really good at guessing what the answers were, and based on patterns, whatever else, they're really good and they have a pretty good grade on the test. But the people that actually know the work, they know that A plus B equals C, and it's deterministic. But otherwise, probabilities is like, well, based on the patterns, I think it's going to be an outcome like this. When you're talking about an invoice reconciliation process, you do not want it to be probabilistic. You need to have it absolute. And so you can either set the temperature between 0 or 1 with AI. 0 is deterministic.
So you want it reliable and accurate.
Right, trustworthy, auditable, yep.
Yeah, deterministic. Okay, so you said that AI without a target income is like an engine without a car. You just said that. So why is starting with business value the only way to make AI meaningful?
Well, you've heard vibe coding also, right, as a term. Vibe coding generally is it's like a personal productivity tool. And when I kind of consider it as like if I have an hour saved every week, that's great, I'm going to go grab a coffee, have a conversation with you. It's not something that an organization can then take to the bank and say, this is what the measurable outcome of personal productivity is. You really need to have a structured process, and you need to be able to say, an invoice process deterministically is going to improve my throughput by this percentage, and then that could reduce my days sales outstanding. These are board level objectives that we want to hit, not just personal productivity, which is generally productivity leakage.
Now IDC reports that 441%, a 441% 3-year ROI. So I'm curious, what's different about organizations that are actually achieving that level of value?
Well, I could give you a personal example. I just worked with a large med tech provider, global, and they were just going to dabble with an AI pilot. And what they did was just use AI in a sales order process. And everyone liked what they saw, and everyone globally was clamoring to get it. I worked with the project lead and said, let's measure what the impact of this is. And so, working with her, we were able to measure that we were reducing downstream defects in a sales order process in the millions of dollars. Catching it earlier versus later. And she was kind of blown away at the ability to actually measure the impact of something that seemed like such a small little AI and process effect. So a small little defect that has a very big downstream consequence. This is why it's important to measure, because it's not just like, look what cool stuff we can do, but how does it move our business forward? How does it impact our business and our ability to meet our customers and improve that relationship?
So I'm wondering, how does that example tell us about maybe where companies should start?
It's important to measure, because generally 20% of something that seems like an exception process has that downstream process, 80% impact. And so if you're just looking at doing cool things, you're not really addressing the things that are really the friction points between you and your customer, or your friction point between you and your competitors. Look at those things that really move the needle in terms of revenue, market share, versus just cost savings.
Yeah, okay, so the study also shows a 51% increase in internal team efficiency. So then how does that translate into a real advantage for organizations who are dealing with talent shortages?
Well, I think the key is you're taking the grunt work away from the workers that have been trained, they've got master's degrees and now you're having them do grunt work. If we're able to get the administrative burden out of that process, you're able to use those resources on that high value work, and honestly, they're happier, and you have better outcomes.
Is the real impact here then not just clearing backlog, but enabling organizations to say yes to more strategic organizations?
Well, and this is
opportunities?
Where I'd say I've seen amazing. I've been doing this for a while, and we've talked about fail fast, fail forward, but we really haven't been able to see that come to fruition. But I worked with one of our customers, and they literally take one of their IT people, who usually is in a closet just doing development, right? That person is out talking to the business, taking a look at their workflow, and then coming back with an MVP within weeks. Then the business can say, oh, I kind of like that, or no, I'm not sure. But they can edit from something that's already been developed. And we're seeing that with Composer and AI development, faster time to getting a framework for what it could be, and then you're able to fail fast, fail forward. And so instead of doing one that takes months, you're able to really develop really quickly, and that's the impact.
IDC also found that if there's a 59% faster time to market, does speed to value now become the most important competitive metric here, even more than cost savings?
If you look at even in your own life, if you could get more revenue versus cutting out costs of, putting your temperature lower so your bill isn't higher, revenue is always a much bigger multiplying effect than cost savings. So if you're looking at your internal operations, how do you scale your work? Take the administrative burden out, then you're able to have better throughput, impact for market share advantage and revenue improvement. And that you can do both at once with Appian, because you're taking out the grunt work, that's cost savings, but then you're able to improving throughput, which is being able to bring a drug to market more quickly, for example. That is massive value
that's
every day.
Oh, obviously, yes, definitely. And I'm curious how much of that acceleration comes down to solving the data problem, getting clean, usable data into the system quickly.
Well, that's really one of the most important differentiators for Appian, and that's the data fabric. Other companies will say they have data fabric, but it's not the way that our patented process is. And AI, everything, but AI specifically really needs good, clean data in order to be effective. And if you don't have those access to those sources, then you're kind of stalled. So a lot of companies are having to do a lot of catch-up trying to build those connectors where we have this data fabric agility layer over those source systems, so you don't have to build that, you're already accessible. So that's how you get this force multiplier to be able to go faster at speed and getting that ROI within under a year. It's amazing.
Yep, and there's often a trade-off between cost savings and revenue growth, but are you seeing that process transformation, it actually delivering both at the same time?
100%.
How so?
The three factors, revenue, cost savings, and risk, by improving the workflow, you're not just doing a task or an AI function, you're doing the entire workflow. So as I said before, you're taking out the administrative burden, so you're not doing swivel chair, copying, pasting, but then you're also being able to improve the throughput. And like I said, if you can get a drug to market one day faster, this is millions of dollars, but it's also impacting people's lives. People that have diabetes and conditions like that. This is why the work that we enable is not just technology, but it's enabling what the mission of our public sector customers or our life sciences or broad markets. They're just, it's amazing because our solution covers across industries, it's not just one industry specific.
Yeah, do you think in general that companies are still measuring the wrong things when it comes to AI?
You say that again?
Do you think that companies in general are still measuring the wrong things when it comes to AI?
I just think they don't know how to measure it. They're just looking at, can we use AI? And they're doing little test projects, but they're not really thinking, how does it impact? Well, there's three things that Gartner said. There is extending the current work, or sorry, I take it back. Defending what we're currently doing. There's extending our work just a little bit, and then there's upending the market. And right now we're just doing the defend and extend. We haven't really seen the upending. It will come, but of those two things, you need a process in order to put AI in. And right now, again, I have a cool engine, a lot of cool engines out there, but they're not going anywhere yet because they need that process, and that's what Appian enables, is that process. You can plug it in, and then you can see the car go.
So if we take all of these gains, like efficiency, speed, ROI, how do organizations move from accelerating today's processes to building a truly autonomous enterprise?
It really comes down to understanding what your business's goals are. Every business is built on a bunch of processes, but every company gets into business because they want an outcome. They want to drive something, whether it's for the customer, again, going back to life sciences, there's Regeneron. They want to make sure that their people live longer and healthier, quality of life. It's not, I want to build the best invoice process. That's just a part of that overall end goal. So if we always focus on enabling our customers to do what their mission, what their business objective is, we'll always be aligned to the right things. And I think that's where a lot of measurement fails. They're measuring time only. So for an example, it used to take us 3 hours, now it takes us 1 hour. That's 2 hours savings, times the frequency of that process, times the labor rate.
Yeah.
And I say you're missing a lot of the dimensions of value because you're just looking at time savings. It's really time savings in service to making sure that patient has a better experience at the end of the day, a better quality of life. So how does that 2 hours freed up enable getting the drug faster to market? That's what you really need to dimensionalize, not just the time savings. And I would say in general, productivity tools just measure time alone, and we really have to build out the other dimensions.
Let's talk a year, 2 years, 3 years in the future. As you know, as Greta Peterman is the principal business value engineer of Appian. Where do you see things going as far as what's in your purview?
Well, I think I would expect that AI will be able to do a lot of what I do today and say, give me beyond time saving. How does this AI in a workflow process help my objective? And give me that, because the word engineer and value engineer is not like technical engineer. It's more of, you want to position the value in terms of whatever that objective is. And so I'm always creative at thinking about, well, what else and how else might I represent that value? And I would hope that AI could actually learn what I do and do a lot of it. They'll still need the 20% of people to be able to translate this to other people. AI can get you so far, right?
Yeah.
But that's what I would like to see, is that we don't just do technology for technology's sake. It's all enabling better communication, better connectivity for all of us.
The conference, what's it been like? What have the customers been talking to you about? What have the conversations been like here at Appian World 2026?
The excitement of where AI with Composer, what we have just launched, is really exciting. And to know that we're actually doing it with some of our customers is even more exciting. It's not just out here, but it's grounded. And we have real experience doing this. And the other thing that really surprises me, but doesn't surprise me, I said I've been doing this for 20 years. Companies are still struggling with basic stuff. You'd think that like, okay, BPM's been here forever, business process management software, but they still struggle with siloed data, siloed processes, non-standardized processes, and we become this agility layer that connects this and allows customers to be able to see their data, see a process. I used to work in contact center software. Do you know how many calls come in? What's the status of my X? Where is this, what's that? If you have visibility to that, you don't have those calls coming in. Each call costs $5 to $10 per call, so that's just gone away. That's how you measure the impact of a better visibility, bringing things together with an agility layer. Anyway, that's what I'm seeing, is that companies, as much as we talk about the hype, we're still
There's still a lot of work to do, which means all those legacy players still have a lot of work to do. It means more business.
Yeah, there's still work.
Thanks so much for your time, Greta. Great conversation.
Thank you.
And you've been watching theCUBE, the leader in live technology coverage and enterprise tech analysis. Thanks for watching.
The CUBE Collective is a community of dynamic, independent thought leaders, industry experts, and professionals from across the enterprise technology landscape. The CUBE has assembled a diverse group of executives, entrepreneurs, and innovators who collaborate to explore, amplify, and discuss emerging trends, innovations, and challenges shaping the future of technology. The goal of the CUBE Collective is to foster knowledge sharing, spark meaningful conversations, and provide actionable insights based on decades of collective experience and data. Together, these experts analyze the most impactful developments at the cutting edge of the tech industry. Join the CUBE Collective as they analyze the shifts transforming and shaping the future of technology. theCUBE, the leading source for technology news and analysis, with exclusive access to the hottest technology events from around the globe. In-depth interviews with industry giants and innovative startups disrupting the landscape. Tune in live or catch the action on demand at thecube.net for current real-time conversations. theCUBE, extracting the signal from the noise. theCUBE brings you the latest news and trends from the heart of the Silicon Valley. Our experts provide in-depth analysis, interviews with industry leaders, and breaking enterprise technology news. Don't just listen. Join the conversation. Be part of the community. theCUBE, extracting the signal from the noise.
theCUBE is one of the most valuable resources in the industry, and I don't say that just from the vendor side. End users say they look at your stuff all the time, and that's what matters most. What do the end users do, and what do the channel partners do who take care of those end users? And they both commented to me multiple times on the value theCUBE delivers to them to really understanding technology, not just in storage, but in all the other areas, because you guys cover the entire gamut.
But this is really about helping people sort of understand, educate them, and inspire them to take action.
Yeah. Takes a village. It's not me. It's a village, and thank you guys for starting to cover it so early.
It's always a pleasure to be here, and hey, congratulations to you, theCUBE, the whole business you put together. It's pretty freaking amazing, man.
theCUBE brings you the latest news and trends from the heart of the Silicon Valley. Our experts provide in-depth analysis, interviews with industry leaders, and breaking enterprise technology news. Don't just listen. Join the conversation. Be part of the community. theCUBE, extracting the signal from the noise. From the biggest stories to the most complex analysis, theCUBE has got you covered. With well over a decade in the fast-paced world of enterprise technology, theCUBE is the only destination that caters to business leaders and tech enthusiasts alike. Join hosts Dave Volante, John Furrier, and many others as they interview industry leaders and visionaries to get an insider's perspective on the latest trends and groundbreaking developments shaping the tech landscape. theCUBE offers comprehensive coverage on a myriad of topics, including artificial intelligence, cloud computing, cybersecurity, data analytics, and so much more. With a community of over 17,000 experts, you're bound to learn a thing or two from our extended coverage at live events or in our studios. Dive deep into thousands of interviews and even go back to past interviews to see how the industry has changed. Or hop on over to SiliconANGLE Media, where our dedicated team of writers work to bring daily articles to over 4 million unique readers each quarter. Go beyond surface-level coverage and unearth critical insights and strategies that fuel success in today's dynamic tech environment. Whether you're an executive looking to learn more about a product, a tech enthusiast hungry for knowledge, or an entrepreneur searching for inspiration, theCUBE is the premier destination for you. Don't miss out on the opportunity to be part of the conversation shaping the future of technology. Tune in to theCUBE and SiliconANGLE Media and join the thought leaders at the forefront of innovation in the world of business and technology. theCUBE, extracting the signal from the noise.
Appreciate the incredible coverage theCUBE provides, not just for this show, but for decades. You guys have been with us and helping to educate and inform our customers in the community and really bringing out the great stories.
It's great to be with you guys. This is a tradition. We've done this a lot of years together.
Thank you for covering Discover for so many years.
The CUBE Collective is a community of dynamic, independent thought leaders, industry experts, and professionals from across the enterprise technology landscape. The CUBE has assembled a diverse group of executives, entrepreneurs, and innovators who collaborate to explore, amplify, and discuss emerging trends, innovations, and challenges shaping the future of technology. The goal of the CUBE Collective is to foster knowledge sharing, spark meaningful conversations, and provide actionable insights based on decades of collective experience and data. Together, these experts analyze the most impactful developments at the cutting edge of the tech industry. Join the CUBE Collective as they analyze the shifts transforming and shaping the future of technology.